Welcome to Midnight True Tales, where true stories are stranger than fiction. Turn off the lights, and now, let's begin. It started as a completely normal evening. There was nothing unusual about that day at all. I met up with my friend, like I usually do. We didn't have a plan. We just wanted to walk, talk, and kill the boredom that had been following us for days. At first, everything felt light. We walked slowly side by side, talking about random things. Old memories we shared, funny moments we experienced together, things that made us laugh without even trying. And the more we talked, the more time seemed to disappear. We didn't notice it at all first. But we were talking and walking further than usual. The road between our village and the next village is not too short. It normally takes time, but that night it felt like the distance didn't exist at all. Step after step, conversation after conversation, until suddenly we realized something strange. We had already reached the neighboring village. We both stopped walking at the same time, looked around, confused, because neither of us remembered the journey feeling that long. It felt like we had skipped time without noticing it, but we didn't question it too deeply. We just assumed we were too distracted talking. After standing there for a few seconds, we decided to head back, but just as we turned around, my friend suddenly stopped. He turned toward me and said something I didn't expect. He told me that his aunt lived in this village. He said he had been planning to visit her for a while, and that tonight felt the right time to go to visit his auntie. He also said he would stay over at her house that night. I looked at him and thought about it for a moment. It seemed normal to me enough. So I agreed with him. There was no reason to say no anyways. We shook it off casually, and that was the moment we separated. He walked deeper into the village toward his auntie's house, and I turned my back alone toward our village. And instead of taking the main road, I made a decision that I would later regret. I chose a shortcut, a completely isolated path between the two villages. No houses, no lights, and no people around. Just open empty land stretching into darkness. The moment I stepped onto that path, the atmosphere around me changed. The air felt heavier, colder, almost unnatural. The wind wasn't just wind anymore. It felt sharp, like it was cutting through my clothes and skin. The sky above me was completely covered in thick clouds. No moonlight, no stars, just a black ceiling pressing down on the earth. Even my footsteps sounded different this time. Every step I took echoed more than it should have, like the ground itself was listening. And somewhere far away, dogs were barking, but didn't feel normal. The barking wasn't constant. It came in waves, like they were reacting to something I couldn't see. As I kept walking, something made me stop suddenly. A sound, very faint at first, almost like wind carrying broken words. I stood still, listening carefully. At first, I thought I was imagining it. So I took another step forward. Then I heard it again, clear this time, a voice calling from far away. I froze completely. My body stopped moving before my mind even understood why. The voice kept coming closer, step by step, closer and closer, until finally I heard it clearly. It was calling my name, Abu Aziz. Wait for me, I'm coming. My heart dropped instantly, because I knew one thing for sure. No one should know I was here, and the only person who could possibly be behind me was my friend. So I stood there waiting without moving. After a few moments of silence, I saw something in the darkness. A figure, I would say, slowly forming out of the blackness of the road. At first, it was just a shadow, then it became clearer. A person walking toward me, fast. My first instinct was relief because I thought it was him, my friend. As the figure got closer, the shape became more familiar this time. The walk, the height, everything meshed. And finally, he reached me, and it was him, my friend. But something immediately felt wrong. Not in a way I could explain, just a feeling in my chest, like something was slightly off. I asked him immediately, "Didn't you say you were staying at your aunt's house?" He looked at me and replied, I went there, but when I knocked the door, no one answered," he said. Then he paused for a second, then continued, "They were not home, so I came back." We stood there for a moment, then started walking together again. But now, the silence between us felt heavy. Not normal silence, but the kind that feels like it's hiding something. After walking a few minutes, he suddenly stopped. He looked down at the ground and said, "I lost something." I turned toward him. "What did you lose?" I said. He replied immediately, $50. I have to find it now." I stared at him, confused. $50 was not a large amount of money. Not something worth stopping in the middle of this dark, isolated road for. But he didn't care. He suddenly bent down, started searching the ground, frantically, moving fast, left, right, forward, back, checking every small spot as if something priceless had been dropped. It didn't look normal. It looked desperate, like his entire mind had locked into that one idea. I told him, "We can come back in the morning. It will be easier with the light." But he shook his head immediately. "No, I needed to find it now." His voice changed slightly. It sounded deeper this time, less stable, almost like it didn't fully belong to him anymore. That's when I started feeling it. Something was going wrong. Not slightly wrong, completely wrong. Because I suddenly realized something. We did not come from this road together. I came here alone, through a different path. So how was he here? And how did he know I was here exactly? My thoughts started spinning. The air felt heavier now, like it was pressing against my chest. And then I heard his breathing. It wasn't normal anymore. It was rough, deep, slow, like something trying to imitate a human breathing, but failing. Almost like a dog breathing through clenched teeth. That's when fear started rising in my body, real fear. Slowly, my hand went into my pocket. I pulled out my small flashlight. My fingers were shaking. I didn't want to do it, but I had to see his face clearly. I turned the light toward him, and the moment the light hit his face, everything stopped. His appearance was wrong, completely wrong. His ears were longer than human ears should ever be, stretching unnaturally. His eyes were pure white, no pupils, no color, just empty white sockets staring back at me. And then he smiled. But it wasn't a normal smile. It was wide, unnatural, distorted, like it didn't belong on a human face. Before I could even move, he lunged at me. Fast, sudden, violent, and as he attacked, he made a sound. Not a scream, not a voice. Something in between. A human scream mixed with the aggressive barking of a dog. I turned instantly and ran away. My legs were shaking, my breathing was breaking. My chest felt like it was going to explode. Behind me, I could still hear that sound chasing me through the darkness. While running, I started reciting whatever phrase I could remember, again and again, not stopping, and then, suddenly, everything went silent. The sound behind me disappeared completely. I stopped running, turned slowly, but there was nothing there. No movement, no presence, no sound, just empty darkness. And he was gone. I stood there alone in the middle of the empty road, completely silent, my heart still racing, my body still shaking, and I knew one thing: what I saw that night was not normal. I don't know if it was a human or my friend, I would say. I don't know if it was something else. What I saw that night was definitely not my friend. And that's it, the end of our story. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed tonight's story, do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. We upload every Monday and Thursday. Until then, stay safe, and I will see you again.